Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Guruvayurappa Sharanam. Now this is Dasaka 88 of Narayaneeyam Santhanagopalam. This episode of Santhanagopalam is lengthier with 12 slogas, and hence I have brought out this in two videos. The first video, that is part 1, is the story briefing of this Dasaka, and the second video, part 2, will contain all the 12 slogas and sloka meanings. The story goes like this. Vasudeva and Devaki by now have realized that their two sons were not just supermen, they were Mahavishnu and his coiled power Adishesha. Devaki told Krishna, "Now we know you are the all-pervading, all-powerful Supreme Lord. I have heard that you have brought your Guru's dead son back from the land of the dead. How I wish to see my poor dead sons once more." Krishna answered, "Those boys, dear mother, are now with Mahabali in the nether world. They were the sons of Marichi and Urna in Krita Yuga. Once they had mocked Lord Brahma for some silly action, and he cursed them to be born as Asuras. They were born to Hiranyakasipu, but immediately transferred as your children. They were destined to have a short life only. Kamsa was only an agent. Look at them again now." And Bhagavan showed the kids. Devaki embraced the children and was content. In turn, they prostrated before Devaki and Vasudeva and vanished in a blaze of light. Then at Mithila there lived a great Brahmin devotee of Krishna named Shrutadeva. Though a family man, he lived on alms, taking only the minimum without much effort, and with this he entertained guests also. The king of Mithila, Bahulaswa, of that time, was also an equally illustrious devotee, and to please both of them at the same time, Krishna started in his chariot driven by Daruka. A great retinue of sages and sannyasis accompanied him. Sri Narada, Vamadeva, Atri, Krishna Dvaipayana and others too were there. All along, the people stood in groups with garlands and scented water and perfumes as offerings, passing through the cities of Matsya, Panchala, Kekeya and Kosala. The procession at last reached the outskirts of Mithila. Both Shrutadeva and Raja were waiting to receive Krishna. He assumed two identical forms and followed both without either knowing the trick. Shrutadeva and his wife received Krishna and the sannyasins with kushagras, that is darbai. Holy waters and flowers and fruits, seated them on darba mats, made and entertained them with everything they had, which was not much, but the guests were quite satisfied and blessed them with all their heart. The party that followed the king had a royal reception with elaborate rituals, feasts, and dances. They too blessed the king and his household. At the end of a month, both parties, highly pleased and showering blessings all around, returned. They all returned profoundly impressed and reached Dwaraka. Now, in Dwaraka, there was a Brahmin. His wife gave birth to a child, but it was born dead. One after the other, 8 children were thus born dead, and Brahmin left them all one by one at the palace portals, lamented in a loud tone. When he repeated the complaint for the 9th child, Arjuna was sitting by the side of Krishna. He boastfully said, "O Brahmin, is there no one in Dwaraka who can wield a bow? I hereby vow to protect your next child. O Brahmin, failing which I shall enter the fire to atone for my sin." The Brahmin replied, "Arjuna, when Balrama, Krishna and other great warriors and sons of Krishna have failed to protect my children, how do you dare to do so? It is simply childish to brag like this. How can we have faith in you? Arjuna continued in the same vein. I am neither Balrama nor Krishna. I am Arjuna, the wielder of the famous Gandiva bow. Trusting Arjuna, the Brahmin returned home. As the period of confinement of his wife drew near, Brahmin sought the protection of Arjuna to save the life of the child. Arjuna goes to Lord Shankara and invoked the various weapons of supernatural efficacy. He stringed his bow, Gandiva, and caged the house of confinement with arrows on all sides for protection. The child was born and gave out cries, but it disappeared through the sky. Now, the Brahmin censured Arjuna and Krishna's presence. It was my folly to trust the futile boast of you. Who else is powerful enough to save one whom Krishna, Balrama, and the other warriors like Aniruddha and Pradyumna could not protect? Arjuna, he is now very annoyed, intends to bring back what has been snatched away by Providence. Arjuna at once proceeded to Yama's abode to search for the child. He could not find the child there, nor could he find it in Indra's abode, nor in the abode of any other gods too, like Agni, Vayu, Soma, etc. He could not find the child in higher regions nor in the Rasatala netherworld. Having failed to redeem his promise, he decides to jump into the fire. Now Krishna prevents Arjuna from doing so. Arjuna, I shall show you the children of the Brahmin. Thus consoling Arjuna, Krishna took him westwards, riding his divine chariot, bearing Garuda's flag. They crossed the 7 islands, each containing 7 mountain ranges, the 7 oceans, dividing those islands, and the Loka mountain situated beyond them all. He enters the region of thick darkness. The horses lose their way and could not proceed any further. The Yogacharya Krishna sends his discussed Sudarshana ahead of him as a guide, illuminating the entire area with brilliance of many suns. Following the path made by Sudarshana, the chariot reaches the end of the region of darkness. Beyond it shone the region of supreme and all-pervading light. Arjuna had to shut his eyes. Arjuna was in Vaikuntha with Krishna, guarded by Jaya Vijaya. Here, he saw the 9 children of the Brahmin couple playing with Mahavishnu and Lakshmi Devi. The 10th child was with Vishnu's lap. Arjuna now lost his pride and realized that there were many things beyond his capacity. He asked for forgiveness and returned to earth with the 10 children of the Brahmin couple. This form of Vishnu sitting with the 10th child is the Santhanagopalam form of Vishnu. It is believed that worshipping this form of Vishnu will help in solving all kinds of pregnancy and childbirth related problems. The Purnitresha, the deity worshipped in the Vishnu temple in Tripunithura, Kerala, that is my native place, is Santanagopala Murti. Now we will see the slogas in the next video, and to end this video we will listen to Sati Suresh Purnatresha Bhajan song.
Shri Purnatrayishanye Puntiruvadiye Sharanam Sampurna Soma Mukhakamalam Tirupuni Turayalum Dayalan Shri Purna Trayishanye சந்தாபத்தை அழித்து சந்தோஷம் சந்ததியின் இன்பமும் அருள்வாய். சந்தத முன்னை பூர்ண பிரகாசரோம் வந்து பணி புரிந்திடும் உன் பாதம் ஸ்ரீ பூர்ண